Alright, so stream should be going. I'm hoping that it is. So yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about the ongoing storms right now, and I'm gonna be discussing what could happen next week also. But first, we're gonna start off. We have two tornado warnings. So actually, let me get the warnings window pulled up here. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and to two main states that are gonna get by this is Louisiana and Texas. You can see we have storms going off along the dry line, and we have a big complex of storms of just like I expected supercells on the southern side of this. We have one right by North Fort Polk, which I'm pretty sure this area was actually hit by a tornado exactly, or not exactly, 1 year ago. Actually, 1 year and 1 day ago. It was April 22nd, 20. It was April 22nd, 2020. Uh, yeah, so let me just check the stream audio here. Give me a second. Everything seems to be working. Let me check the audio. All right, yeah, the audio is working, so that is good. So yeah, now. Uh, oh yeah, okay, so we have this storm right by right by Fort Paul, because this is in Louisiana. And as you guys can see, I do have GR2 now, so that's gonna be very helpful. Uh, it's right by the radar, so that's gonna be kind of hard to look at, but we can see we do have some rotation in this area. Likely right there, right to the south of North Fort Polk. Looks to be the main area. Let's play the radar here. Yeah, that looks to be the main area. And look at Enrot. Yeah, right there. The further to the south, this is down by I guess Buna. This is in southeastern Texas, right here. Uh, we have another storm. This one is once again another HP supercell. This is moving east. Uh, this is our other tornado warning. Base velocity, very interesting. Oh, and also by the way, I am using the I guess the Gibson Ridge reflectivity color color table. I'm getting my I got my own base velocity and my own storm relative velocity. I don't like Gibson Ridge's velocity color tables. I think they're kind of I wouldn't say they're bad, just I don't like them. And a lot of people don't like them, but this one's not great. I might get a new one actually. We can see we have looks to be some rotation right there. Let's go over to storm relative velocity. This is actually the radar scope color table. I'm gonna just do that real quick. Looks like the main area is kind of in the northern side up here. It kind of looks to be the main area. Maybe something right there. It's kind of a confusing storm. And then what I have here for warning settings here is I haven't done a whole lot with this. I have my severe thunderstorm warnings are yellow, tornado warnings are red, tornado reported, so just like an observed tornado warning, that's purple or pink. And then tornado emergency is black. So that's kind of what I have. But yeah, so pretty interesting event to track on GR2 tonight for sure. A lot of HP supercells in this area. We also have another one up by Natchez, Mississippi. There's not really a good radar for that, so we're just going to use this one. But likely some very large hail at the cell as it moves to the northeast. Likely some hail, maybe radar indicated up to around maybe an inch, going towards the south side of Frogmore. This is in east central Louisiana here. Radar is picking up to around 65 dBz. It's a significant storm cell right there. And I do want to switch sites here. I want to go to the Wichita, or not the Wichita Falls. Let me see. I want to go to. I'm gonna have to get a radar that's furthest north. It's not Wichita Falls. It is actually. It's the Frederick. Yeah, there we go. several reports of a large, significant sized hail right to the southeast of Vernon with this supercell. The HRRR really did great with this, in my opinion. Indicated the southern supercell producing. We had a tornado back here, I'm pretty sure, earlier today. It was photogenic also, so that was pretty nice. And yeah, right now we can see we have just a line of storms moving south. It is severe warned. Let's see what it's severe warned for. Let me drag that over here. Severe warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Okay. It's moving southeast towards Wichita Falls, Texas. The west side of Wichita Falls is under this now. Very photogenic line of storms, most likely. Not a whole lot of rotation with these. That's good, but nonetheless, this is something to watch and take a look at NROC just to pick out any areas of rotation. Nothing that really sticks out to me here. And yeah, so let's go up to the Oklahoma City radar real quick just to check, and then we're gonna go back down to our 2 tornado warning cells. Well, actually, after that, we're gonna go up to this area here where we have some ongoing storms. One issue of GR2, it's not an issue. It takes a pretty long time to load radar data. That's not really an issue. That's one reason RadarScope's better. Really, when you're chasing now, I use my phone to chase, of course, so you can't get GR2. That's on a phone. That's not even possible. Two main radar apps that I kind of use is Radar Omega and RadarScope. Problem with Radar Omega is I don't have a fast phone, so Radar Omega kind of it's really slow, not responsive. Radar Omega is not a bad app though. It's really just my phone. I prefer to use RadarScope because RadarScope works better or works good on really any device. But I guess looks like we have not a whole lot of activity in the Oklahoma City area. Maybe some to the southeast. Not a lot of rotation with those at all. So yeah, now let's go up to Amarillo. Okay, we have 3 tornado warnings now. They go until 9 and 9:30 p.m. So 2 of them are about to expire in just a couple of minutes, 3 minutes. By the way, these times that I am saying, that it's in Eastern time. So if you live in Central time, of course, I'm gonna subtract 1 hour. So those will actually, if you live in Central time, those warnings will expire at 8. So you can see some storms in the Texas Panhandle with producing around maybe half inch size hail. Nothing significant. Now, they extended this tornado warning right here into Louisiana now. So let me get the radar site back. We want the Fort Polk radar. Sorry, yeah, there we go. All right, so let's get this back. Nice. And yeah, so I am planning on the stream is going to last until around 10:30, 10:15. Then I'm gonna have to go. But yeah, so we can see 2 HP supercells down here. I just highlighted one of the warnings by accident, but let me get that back. Okay, so you have one right on the radar. We're really not going to be able to see this well at all. Let's just look at CC here. That'll be kind of helpful. Don't see a CC drop. Maybe something kind of in there, but that could be something. It's really hard to tell because how close it is to the radar. This is what it looks like unsmoothed, but I'm gonna have it smoothed. All right, now down here for the south, we have the storms just entering Louisiana from West Texas. Not a whole lot of rotation with this. Looks to be maybe right to the north of Bancroft. Let's use storm relative. Yeah, this cell doesn't look great at all. This tornado warning's out for Beauregard County. I definitely didn't say that right. And Newton County and Louisiana. And yeah, it's one of them. Both of those. This one up by Fort Polk did expire, and This one down by, I guess, Kirbyville in southeastern Texas and southwestern Louisiana, that is still going. One of the previous warning did expire at 9. So we can see those are no longer here. And they're still active right there, but they're now gone. Yeah, now we just have one. We do still have a lot of severe thunderstorms, though. Let's actually take a 3D with this HP Supercell with the tornado warning here. Of course, it goes on my other screen. All right, here we go. So this is viewing it from the south here, southeast. We can see definitely kind of a nice structure with it. Let's go full screen. Definitely not very what's the word for it? All right, I forgot the word somehow. But this is definitely very HP and not really good for storm chasing, but that's something we see commonly in this area of southeastern Texas and southwestern Louisiana. But definitely storms. I mean, cloud tops with us are likely reaching 50,000 feet. That's a significant storm right there. I just accidentally took another one. It looks like the hook is right to the north of Bancroft. That's Bancroft's in the extreme southwestern Louisiana. Or not extreme, but it's to the northwest of Lake Charles. Which a lot of people know now because of Laura. Definitely very interesting storm right there. And still see we have this storm produce some hail maybe to the southeast of Frogmore. Likely 1-inch hail with that, maybe up towards maybe around 1-inch hail. And that's about to bring some hail maybe to Fairy Day. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say that once again. But some hail coming into that area, and maybe to the north of Natchez. So yeah, we did have a report of a flash flood in Burkesville, Texas. One also thing I like about GR2 is you actually get reports. So like this 0.75-inch hail here, and to the northwest of Kirbyville, Texas, that is actually going to be on the SPC. We go to the SPC here, and this is our outlook for today. Let's start by looking at this. We have an enhanced risk that extends from Texas, eastern Texas. This is the new zeros. This just came out. We have an enhanced risk that goes from southeastern Texas, where we have our complex of storms right now, goes into southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. Another enhanced risk that's in where we have our complex of storms in Wichita Falls right now, on southern Oklahoma and Texas, northern Texas. 10% tornado risk, so not any significant tornadoes the SPC is expecting, but maybe a couple tornadoes in that area. 30 sig wind and a 30 sig hail back up by Wichita Falls. And then tomorrow we can see the SPC, despite what I thought in the video earlier, they actually extended the slight risk further north. I'm actually kind of surprised. We'll have to see. Tomorrow kind of reminds me of April 23rd last year. In the southeast, it just reminds me of that for some reason. We have a 30 sig hail threat in Mississippi and Alabama, or not Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle. 30% wind and a 10 sig tornado risk in southwest Georgia into Alabama. That's where I'm thinking. I agree with the SPC on that, for sure. And then Sunday and Monday, we're going to have a little bit of a break. We're not going to talk about Tuesday right now due to the fact we have a tornado warning ongoing. But interesting. We go back to the storm reports, though. That hail report by Kirby, Texas, it's actually not there. I think that might have been it's a spotter report. I think I can do something here to actually get I don't know, but yeah, on GR2 though you do get reports, which that's kind of a plus. A lot of hail reports by San Antonio and some damaging wind with this area of storms. Just see what they look like on radar. Okay, okay, this looks very interesting. We have a supercell by Pawnee, Texas. This is in southern Texas. To the north, kind of a few supercells. We have the southern one's the main one, really, with likely some significant sized hail. 1.50, almost around 1.5 inch hail by Campbellton, Texas. And then we have another severe thunderstorm warning by Stockdale and Floresville. Doesn't seem like that storm's going to have as big hail or as large hail as the southern one, but the storm likely has some hail. Smaller hail, though. This southern one, though, likely has some significant sized hail, 67 dBZs. Radar indicates 2.5 inch hail, and that's likely going to be overdone. But definitely maybe some hail with this. Most likely hail with this. We do have a little bit of rotation. That's something to keep an eye on. Not a lot, actually. That doesn't look good. But we're gonna keep an eye on that as it moves to the east. So let's go back up to the Fort Polk radar here. Now I have to just do this. Actually, this would likely be the best radar for this southern cell. So we're going to use this radar. And just let it load here. It takes a while. Oh, yeah, so this is our supercell. It's still crossing into Louisiana here. All right, that's just some TBSs, yeah. All right. So yeah, it looks like this storm is maybe becoming a little bit of a straight line wind threat. Very interesting. Now let me storm motion from warning. For some reason, what did I just do? All right, for some reason, I can't really get. I don't know how to set up storm motion right now. I haven't figured out how to do it. It's not that I can't find out or I can't figure out like where I can do it. Because whenever I try and do it with the marker, like I place a marker, I think this is what you're supposed to do. I can't do a storm motion from marker. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out though. But see, we do have a TVS right there. I mean, this doesn't look great. It seems to be maybe becoming maybe a little bit outflow dominant. Seems to maybe a little bit of a straight line wind throw with the supercell here. We'll have to see what that does to the tornado risk. But it doesn't seem like you have a whole lot of rotation. But we could have a tornado on the ground. Doesn't look too tight though, so that's good. Yeah, and then up by the Fort Polk radar. Let's let this load. This is our other storm. This was severe, or this was tornado 1, but it no longer is. Actually, that's so close to the radar, we're not going to get a good view of it. So let me switch back to this radar. It was kind of a waste of time. Let's just get this to load in. Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, we can see maybe picking up something right there. Yeah, kind of a straight line wind through it. Kind of similar to the southern cell down here. Southern cell does seem to have a little bit of a better tornadic potential. Definitely, these are very HP storms, though. And likely not very visible. And yeah, so let's go back up to this complex of storms by Wichita Falls, Texas. And we're going to go to the I need the Frederick radar. Yeah, here we go. So these storms are likely going to bring some hail into Wichita Falls potentially. This is our other enhanced risk, the one that's further to the northwest and much smaller. You can see likely some pretty decent sized hail falling right by Burke Burnett, Texas. I think I said that right. And interesting line of storms are moving southeast. This one right here, apparently maybe some rotation. Let's take a look. Doesn't seem to, we don't seem to have much of anything to really be worried about. Maybe something in this area. Doesn't look, I don't think so. That doesn't look great. These storms don't likely have decent sized hail with them, and damaging winds, of course. Doesn't seem to have much of a tornado threat, but that tornado threat's always there with these storms. Doesn't seem to be high. The tornado threat doesn't seem to be high at all, though. Even this cell up through to the north by, this is the one by Burke-Burnett. You can see it doesn't have much rotation at all, so that's very good to see. Now let's switch sites. Let's go back down to the Lake Charles radar, and we can see. First of all, yeah, we can see we had 3 tornado reports today. Those were with that storm I was talking about. It was that one supercell the HRRR really predicted, had it turning into a line of storms, which that's kind of what we have going towards Wichita Falls right now. Those tornado reports were not a lot of information on them, but it was we did have a really photogenic tornado earlier today in that area, so that was kind of cool to see. Yes, this HP supercell is now crossed completely in Louisiana, really. Circulation's likely in southwestern Louisiana now. We can see not a whole lot of rotation with this, but we could always have something with this. This looks to kind of be maybe a straight line with it. This doesn't look great anymore, really. Let's go over to radar scope, see what the storm looks like on radar scope, just kind of for a comparison. So we can see this is the storm on here. Radar scope is actually kind of slow. Yeah, very HP supercell. And yeah, not a whole lot of rotation. Kind of just, I'm fairly used to using radar scope, so I'm really better at reading velocity on radar scope, so it kind of helps. But this is a very HP supercell, and doesn't seem like we have a whole lot of rotation, but something could easily spin up in this area. But it's gonna be rain wrap for sure. I mean, this is not just a this is not a what was I gonna say? This is not an LP supercell that you'll actually be able to see. This is an HP mess. I'm gonna go down to the Austin or San Antonio minerals to check on those storms again. These hailers. We still have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings down here, and yeah, the southern one's still producing very large hail, even maybe closer to 70 dBZs. With this new radar scan we just got, and likely areas like, I think that's Pitas, Texas, or Tolita areas. Those areas are going to likely see some potentially large hail, and not that's interesting, but that's not. I think that's just a radar glitch. Very nice storm though. This is kind of a classic supercell, not very HP. Let's take a 3D of this. Yeah, this looks much better. You can see overshooting tops. Nice. Yeah, that looks much better than the cell in Louisiana. So take a 3D of this whole complex here, and we're gonna look at it from the east, or from the south. That's kind of what it would look like if you're looking at it from the ground. Nice anvils stretching to the east, overshooting tops. Just kind of a nice classic complex of storms in southern Texas. And if you're looking at it from the east, you would see really just the anvil. So yeah, just a nice classic complex of storms. It's good to see. Good to see that we didn't have a lot of classic supercells back or in 2020 at all. 2020 was a very linear HP year, But it doesn't look like 2021 so far has been more supercellular than linear. Not more supercellular than linear, but more supercellular, especially more supercellular than 2020. And it looks like 2021 has we've had more less eight. We've had storms have not been as much. I guess it's kind of hard to say this, but storms have not been. I guess as HP has in 2020. That kind of sounds stupid, but try my best at saying that. Um, but yeah. So let's go back over to our tornado warning now. We still have it for southwestern Louisiana. Storms likely producing some smaller hail. I'm not expecting large hail with this. You can see this is the yeah. I think okay. Yeah, we got new scan. This is 9:15. This is 1 minute ago. Not a whole lot of rotation once again, but we could always have something spin up. Looks like we might have something right here. Let me place a marker right there, and we're not gonna zoom in. Let's go to base reflectivity. That's in a blob. Anerot. I mean, it's kind of in the blob. It's not where I really expect it to be, but I wouldn't really. This is a really HP storm. It's kind of just becoming a mess, to be honest. The storm is it's like 50,000 feet tall. This storm doesn't even look that good anymore. It's really just an HP mess supercell. It's kind of trash, to be honest, but this thing could produce a tornado snow. I don't think it is right now, but we could always see that. Spin up very quickly now. We go up further to the north. We can go up to the Fort Polk area where we had these storms move through. Severe warning still right over the Fort Polk area, so we're not gonna use that radar even though it's right here. And see, it looks to mainly be not really linear, kind of maybe has some characteristics of a supercell, but a little bit of broad rotation right where I'd expect it to be. I mean, nothing tornadic, but this storm still has some potential. I don't think it's great, but we could still see something with this. Yeah, so storm over Natchez right now. I want to take a look at that because of large hail concerns. That storm is producing very large hail a little bit ago. Let's take a or we're not gonna. I don't know what I was saying. Let's just look at the radar and see what that is doing. Looks to be maybe not producing very large hail over Natchez. A little bit of a radar glitch, but we can see only around 50 dBZs. Actually, I want to go down to the Fort Polk area. That doesn't look good on. I think Fort Polk might be a little closer. So let's just let this load here. Yeah, it definitely has weakened a little bit. We play the radar here, and that doesn't really show much. But see, only not even 60 dBZs anymore. So still maybe some small hail with this, of course, but doesn't seem to be 1-inch hail anymore. And if any hail will likely go to the north of Natchez. Maybe the north side of Natchez could see something. Hail-wise, just not a whole lot. We do have some storms maybe producing hail down by Marksville and Bordeloneville. Around maybe 50. I remember how maybe half an inch, maybe an inch, or maybe 1-inch sized hail. Not really, not large, but not small either. These storms are moving into extreme southwestern Mississippi soon, and so yeah, now let's go back over to our HP mess storm. Juanita could be. It's kind of close to this. That kind of worries me. Seems like we have rotation. This is the Fort Polk radar. This actually looks real different. It looks like we actually have broad rotation right here. Let me take a sounding or not take a sound. I don't know what I'm saying. Let me place a marker right there. That's embedded in this HP, in this high precipitation mess right there. And I mean, definitely nothing significant, but that seems to be maybe the main area of rotation. So yeah, now this tornado warning expires in 10 minutes, so I'll have to see what they do what they do about it. So yeah, it doesn't seem like that storm. That storm's very HP though. Now let's go back up to the Frederick radar, and we're going to take a look at these storms by Wichita Falls, because these look pretty good. So just let this load. It's gonna take a while. Yeah, so these storms, they have still some small hail, or not small hail, still some decent sized hail. This southern one is still supercellular. This is pretty much what the HRRR was showing. It's looking like the supercell is going to go really through Wichita Falls. Not a whole lot of rotation, but we could easily have something come together right here. And that could not be good. Let's actually take a 3D of this whole complex here. Let's take a, actually that's not a good one. Let me get a new one. All right, here we go. So this is Wichita Falls down there, of course. This is not HP though. This is kind of a classic line segment with a southern supercell, kind of like we had down in southern Texas. You can see nice overshooting tops, decent looking anvil over Wichita Falls. And yes, that looks really nice on 3D, or kind of just nice to take 3Ds. Doesn't really tell you too much, but it's kind of nice. It's kind of cool to look at. So, yeah, which looks like Wichita Falls could see some small hail, nothing significant. Nothing significant in size, maybe some hail up to around half an inch to maybe an inch. Storm to the north, though, likely has maybe some slightly smaller hail up to probably around an inch, or not small, maybe some larger hail, potentially with that, maybe up to around an inch in diameter. So yeah, it does look like we have a line of storms now going up towards Oklahoma City. Let me switch to the Oklahoma City radar, and we're gonna look at this. Just let it load. It's gonna take a while, of course. Yeah, it does look like we have a line of storms that extends from around Chickasha down into where we have our southern supercell by Wichita Falls. And likely a lot of threats with this is mainly hail up to around maybe an inch in diameter and damaging winds, of course. Let's take a look at NROT just to see if there's anything that looks significant. This looks that looks interesting for sure, but nothing tornadic right now. But that's definitely something to watch. That's right where I'd expect that rotation to be. So that might have some potential. Let's go look at the cell by Duncan. Doesn't look good. But yeah, we do have this line of storms forming here, and yeah. So let's go back down to our tornado warning cell, and first off, let's go ahead and take a look at the HRRR for the rest of the night and see what that is saying. This is the 00Z. Let me get that. We only have 7 forecast hours, but that'll work. So we're gonna start off by looking at the southeast. We're gonna look at our complex of storms. This is at 01Z. We have you can see HP mess with some southern supercells. You can see that moves east, damaging winds and hail as the main threats. So maybe a little bit of a tornado threat. Take a sounding here. Yeah, you're gonna have a tornado threat. Yeah, that HOTA looks crazy. Overnight tornado threat does worry me a little bit. Definitely damaging winds moving from central Louisiana into Mississippi. Definitely maybe some significant winds, and also maybe more significant winds further to the northwest in southern Oklahoma and northern Texas with these 2 line segments right there. So far today we've had 46 reports, 3 tornado reports, 5 winds. The majority of the reports today have been hail reports, and 9 of those have been large hail reports, which is just 2-inch in diameter, hail or larger. We can see, yeah, decent sized hail. Some of these. Uh, yeah. Now let's go back to GR2. Oh yeah, this northern cell here. This is by Alexandria. Just got severe warned again. And we still have this southern tornado warning cell down here by Juanita. Let's take a look at base velocity. You know, it doesn't look great at all. Or it doesn't look great, but maybe some rotation with it. It doesn't look good though. Let's switch to the Fort Polk radar and see what we got. So let's just let this load. It's gonna take a while, sorry. Alright, here we go. So definitely nothing too organized. I mean, nothing, this doesn't really look great here. But up here by, oh, yeah, new tornado warning. This is for, Rapides County in Vernon County in Louisiana. Southern side of Alexandria is included in this warning. Looks like this HP supercell is starting to do something again. Go to base velocity. Maybe something could spin up right here would be where I'd expect. Let's place a marker. It kind of matches up with reflectivity. And I mean, yeah, it doesn't look great. I mean, none of these styles really look great. But we could always see a brief spin up right here. That goes to the south of Alexandria. So yeah. And that's pretty much all we have going on right now. I mean, not a whole lot going on. I mean, we do have a lot going on, which is good. We don't have a lot going on, but we do have 2 tornado warnings and a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings to track. But yeah, these storms don't seem to be doing too much. Like I said before. Let me turn off smoothing here and see how they look. See the raw radar data. I like GR2's smoothing though. It doesn't really make things it doesn't really make things disappear. So that's kind of nice. We did have half-inch hail to the south of Leesville, western Louisiana, and yeah. So, like I said before, we're just gonna wait for this. I want to see if they extend this warning, or they just let it go in the southern cell here. It's gonna be interesting to see. It expires in 1 minute, so I don't think they're going to extend it. They would have already done it. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of rotation with that. This one right here, though, starting, it kind of worries me. I mean, it looks like that area kind of right here would see potential. I think that's why they warned us for this area right here. So hopefully this is not produced, but this does look kind of decent. We'll have to see though. So it's almost. This tornado warning expires any minute now. And this is just an HP mess right here. Is supercell. Okay, they did extend it. They extended it until 10 or for the next 30 minutes. So that's nice. And or not nice, but doesn't seem like the cell's doing too much though, so that's good. But this northern one worries me a lot though. This is going into a higher population center. The south side of Alexandria, maybe. Or it's going to be pretty far to the south of Alexandria, but Still, more people live in this area than down here. But this cell's we're still going to be watching this cell, of course. This cell doesn't look as good on radar either, or velocity, but uh, yeah, these cells are just HP, very HP. Yeah, so two tornado warnings. We've had two tornado warnings for a while now. The first, or the other one with the southern cell is expired now, and yeah, so let's go take a look at our storms by San Antonio. So the radar load here, and we're gonna see what they're doing. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings. Seems like the hail threat could be going down. Maybe a slight bit with this. Still some large hail, though, maybe around 1 inch. And further to the north, we have a cell that's likely just producing small, maybe pea-sized hail. That's moving towards, I guess, Quero, Texas. I don't know how to say that. This will eventually move down towards Victoria. Take a look at velocity. Not maybe some rotation with that, and with this northern cell, likely just that looks kind of outflow dominant. So I mean, the southern one kind of does too. Maybe not, but we're gonna keep watching this. I don't think this is gonna have much of a I don't think it's gonna have much tornadic potential, but it does have the chance. The environment's not that great down here, but it is manageable maybe. So yeah, no, let's go back up to the the Fort Polk radar and take a look at our two tornado warnings again. Let's just let this load. All right, here we go. So you can see we have this northern cell going towards the southern side of Alexandria. This one kind of has been very interesting on the radar. Doesn't look like we're getting too much rotation here, but you could easily see something spin up, like I said before. And with this southern one, we don't have a lot of rotation with it at all. These two cells are just very HP overall now. We can go further to the west here. I want to go back up to the Frederick radar in Oklahoma. And we're going to take a look at these storms by Wichita Falls, because Wichita Falls could be about to get hit pretty decent. We get hit by some pretty decent storms. So let's move to this area. So let the radar load. And it's almost there. Alright, here we go. So we can see this storm we might be seeing the majority of our hail maybe to the south of Wichita Falls, south and southwest side of town, and maybe some hail to the northeast of Wichita Falls too. There's others south, up by Byers and Petrolia, Texas, and kind of in southern Oklahoma too. So we did have a 1 inch hail report from a train spotter in Holiday, Texas, with this storm. Radar may be indicating some rotation. I don't see a whole lot of rotation with these, but there's some maybe broad rotation. Nothing that really stands out though. And this line does extend all the way up into Oklahoma now. Severe thunderstorm warning out for Duncan, Rush Springs in Oklahoma, almost up to Chickasha at this line. Let's let the radar load. It's just one problem with GR2. The radar takes a long time to load. And I mean, not a major problem though. But let's get this, and then we're gonna so we can look at this line. All right, here we go. So this line actually might have some decent sized tail, moderate sized tail maybe. Right here. And yeah, mainly just small to moderate sized tail, damaging winds especially. And yeah, this is for severe thunderstorm warnings, pretty standard, 60 mile per hour wind gust and quarter sized hail. Line of storms now extends up almost to Chickasha, or up to Chickasha, almost even up to Newcastle. And this area here, weaker thunderstorms. Those storms can produce some gusty winds and some small hail. Let's take a look at Enrot. See anything that looks interesting. Yeah, nothing really looks too good. So let's go back down to the Fort Polk radar, and we can look at these storms that are tornado warned. So this okay. Here we go. So yeah, we can see we have these two tornado warned storms. We have the southern one by, I guess, Juanita. I think that's how you say it. We don't have a whole lot of rotation with this now. We haven't really had a lot of rotation with this, but it's broad, but something could spin up, and something could also spin up with this one. It seems like we don't have a lot of rotation at this time now. Maybe something right in that area. Let's take a look at reflectivity. I'm not thinking that would be the area to watch, though. These are very HP storms, though. Very high precipitation. And the southern side of Alexandria is included in this warning here. So let's just kind of wait here. Let's go back to the Storm Prediction Center's website here, and we've had 51 tornado reports now. 43 hail, only 5 wind. No new tornado reports, just hail reports. And yeah, Dallas-Fort Worth has some hail reports by Dallas. Yeah, so let's go back to convective outlook. So this is today's convective outlook for day 1. We have an enhanced risk in southwestern Oklahoma and northern Texas. And we also have another enhanced risk that goes from southeastern Texas into southern Alabama, the extreme northwestern part of the Florida Panhandle. And it's for that other cluster of storms with the 2 tornado warnings. We have a 10% tornado risk where we have our 2 tornado warnings. We have a 30 sig wind, my bad. And we have a 30 sig hail with that northern enhanced risk by Wichita Falls. Now tomorrow, this severe weather outbreak is going to continue. It's just going to be in a slightly different area further to the east. We can see we have an enhanced risk for central southern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle into South Georgia, and into southern South Carolina. I'm not going to be live streaming tomorrow. It kind of depends though, because I might chase tomorrow. I'm not sure. There's a few problems. The HRRR doesn't show a grid environment. We got it tomorrow at 20Z. HRRR indicates a very strong line of storms in South Georgia, South Alabama, but it doesn't really show a whole lot of activity in North Georgia. And environment's just terrible. The environment gets ruined by morning rain. Really, nothing happens in the slight risk that we have in upstate South Carolina, northern Georgia, northern Alabama. Just a lot of rain. And maybe a damaging wind threat across central Georgia with this line of storms earlier in the day. Let me go back to it. Yeah, right here. This could be some damaging winds with that. Some smaller hail too. But the environment tomorrow doesn't. The HRRR is kind of. It's not showing a great environment. We go to the. Let's go to the NAM3. NAM3 shows a little bit of clearing. This is 18Z. We can see we have some storms going out to the west of Atlanta into around Rome, Georgia, and 19Z. Getting into the further into the afternoon, we have storms coming through Atlanta. Moving towards Athens now, and then by 20Z, storms are up towards, I guess, Tacoma and Hartwell, stretching down towards Columbus. But so the NAM shows a lot more. If the NAM happens, I'll probably end up chasing because I chase anything. I mean, sometimes I just chase showers because it's just exciting sometimes for some reason. But I mean, I don't know about tomorrow. The HRRR shows a much worse environment, and sometimes the HRRR does tend to be better than the NAM. the NAMP 3. So we're gonna have to see. It kind of depends if I live stream tomorrow. That's kind of uncertain, but I might. I'm actually really surprised the SPC can move the slight risk even further into North Georgia and upstate South Carolina with the second day 2 outlook. I thought they were gonna bring it further south. And now what I'm thinking, I have a feeling this. I don't know if this is gonna be right or wrong, but this kind of reminds me of April 23rd last year. April 23rd last year was this day. There was a enhanced risk on day 2 for areas of North Georgia and upstate South Carolina in that area, and enhanced risk in South Georgia, that area also. But then the environment in the morning, the SPC downgraded it. You can see second day 2, enhanced risk, day 1 outlook, marginal risk, a general thunderstorm in upstate South Carolina. In 1 outlook, that area, some areas like Greenville, Spartanburg went from, or actually 2 outlooks. Greenville, Spartanburg went from an enhanced to general thunderstorm, which that's sad. But I have a feeling that tomorrow could be like that. It depends though. If we can get, what happened this day was we had capping in the afternoon, and not a lot of instability. Really, nothing got going other than a few storms by Gainesville, and they produced some hail. That's about it though. This day does, but tomorrow does kind of remind me of April 23rd last year. This was tomorrow will be exactly 1 year and 1 day ago, and this was a continuation of the April 22nd, 2020 outbreak, which reminds me a lot of today, which is April 23rd, 2021. So kind of this whole event really reminds me of April 22nd, April 23rd last year to April 23rd, or to this event, which is April 23rd, April 24th. These two events, they're kind of similar in a way now. If we can get enough clearing and everything, this area could see some severe weather, but it's uncertain at this time. And I will check in or back in on that in tomorrow's video. If I don't live stream. So yeah, now. That's April 23rd last year. I want to go back to April 22nd. Yeah, we had 53 tornado reports. Really a tornado outbreak across eastern Texas, central Louisiana, into Mississippi. We had a strong tornado in eastern Texas. There's a HP supercell that produced there's a few tornado emergencies for that. And a lot of tornadoes in southern Mississippi, even in the by the Mobile area. And we had a secondary area of nice classic and LP supercells producing very photogenic tornadoes in southern Oklahoma and northern Texas. And that was probably one of the most photogenic days of 2020, other than the Ashby tornado. But that was probably one of the most photogenic plains days. Or not really plains, but I guess I'll just say central plains. Because Oklahoma and Kansas, Texas, they had a pretty bad year for tornadoes last year. It looks like this year, though, so far has been pretty interesting. For sure, much different than 2020. And yeah, so let me get back to the normal SPC here. All right, here it goes. So now we're still at 53 reports. We have an MD out for Wichita Falls here. While on the dry line in the warm front, we have some storms. The wind hail threat will persist into the late evening hours with evolving clusters of storms. A new watch may be needed. That's pretty much what that says. All right, so let's take a look at watches. We have we have a lot of watches right now. Yeah, we have a tornado watch across Louisiana, Mississippi. That's tornado watch 104. Severe thunderstorm watch 103. That's for the Wichita Falls area, and into Ardmore, Oklahoma, and we have another tornado watch or severe thunderstorm watch for southern Texas ahead of that complex of storms. Two actually down there. We have a tornado watch right here, for Wichita Falls also. And our last one is tornado watch 99. That's this large watch for eastern Texas into areas of western Louisiana. Sorry. So yeah, and with this tornado watch, we have severe wind is high, tornadoes moderate. You have two tornadoes low. Severe or hail is pretty much just moderate. So, yeah. Now let's go back to GR2. We still have two tornado warnings. We have this one to the south of or by Longville. It's actually right on top of Longville. Let's take a look at take a look at velocity. We could be getting something right here. Let's say, yeah, that's right where I expected to be. So that could be an issue. It doesn't look too tight, but it looks to maybe have tightened up a little bit. We have the strong cell coming into the southern side of Alexandria. Still doesn't look like we have any tight rotation with it, but we don't have any tight rotation, but it's something could easily spin up with this look. I'd expect it maybe in this area. But it doesn't look great. We still haven't had that happen yet. And this isn't a higher population center also. The south side of Alexandria. We have some hailers by Natchez now. We can see. Not really hailers. Just smaller hail, maybe some moderate sized hail with these. Not really tornado concerns. It's kind of really hard to tell though. Not really any good radars for that. This is a radar hole. I'd say they should put a radar right by maybe Wilkinson, Mississippi. That'd be kind of a perfect area. Or maybe in Natchez. That'd be kind of good. That's a radar hole. We also have another radar hole up here. Probably Greenville, Mississippi. They could put a radar in. Those are two major radar holes. I really noticed those radar holes back on March 25th when we had that high risk. That was a really big problem. We had a tornado in Greenville, Mississippi, and we had a tornado warning storm by Woodville, which is two significant radar holes. I think two radars could be added, or not could be. I think two radars could be used in those areas, but we'll have to see. I don't think that'll ever happen. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna end the stream in around 15 minutes. But it is nice to stream with GR2 again because I'm using GR2. I used GR2 for a little bit last May. But GR2 is really the best. It's in a way it's kind of the best radar software out there. I mean, Radar Scope is the classic though. So yeah, now these warnings expire in 12 minutes. So we'll have to see. It looks like could have some rotation maybe right to the north of Longville. This definitely looks like a damaging wind threat coming towards Woodworth in central Louisiana. It's right to the southwest of Alexandria. It definitely looks like a damaging wind threat coming into that area. With these two HP supercells. Yeah, is there anything else we can check? Let's go check our line of storms in Oklahoma. So let's go back to the Frederick radar. And let's just let it load. We have several hail reports to the south of Wichita Falls. 2.5-inch hail here by a train spotter. That's some significant sized hail. We have 1 inch on the southwestern side of Wichita Falls. Even more coming in Wichita Falls, around 1 inch. In the heart of Wichita Falls. That's significant. By Lakeside City, 1.5 inches. This storm hit Wichita Falls, this southern supercell. Wichita Falls just got some decent sized hail. And up by Addington. This is not really a high population center up here, so that's why there's no reports coming in. I'm sure the cell has hail. And we can see maybe even some stronger storms coming into the Oklahoma City area, especially by Moore, Newcastle, and Norman. Severe thunderstorm warnings are limited to the south of this, but we do have some strong storms coming in the Bridge Creek, Newcastle, down towards, and then this line extends down into the Wichita Falls area where we had a bunch of reports of hail. By Dallas, let's take a look at that, the Dallas area. And it's going to take a while to load. Alright, here we go. So we do have some storms to the east of Dallas. We have one by Bonham. This is not severe warned, but likely some decent sized hail. Maybe up to around an inch. That could go severe warned. We have a lot of storms to the east by Sulphur Springs, Emory, Kaufman. Nothing significant there. And yeah, just some not bad looking storms. Not really looking too good though. Because what I like to cover in live streams is really the tornadic storms. Because those really pose the greatest threat to life. And then cause normally the most damage now. Severe storms, of course, and even these storms in eastern Texas could be causing maybe some damage, like tree limbs down and stuff like that. But that's normally not extremely deadly unless a tree falls on a house or something, or on a car. Take a look at base velocity. Not a whole lot going on at any of these cells. Sorry about that, but it does seem like Woodworth could be getting some really gusty winds right now. I'd say that there is likely some gusty winds in Woodworth. This warning right here is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Okay. All right, but yeah, this is very interesting. We haven't taken a 3D of this cell. We haven't taken a 3D of this cell by Alexandria. Let's do that. And yeah, it is a supercell, just very, very HP. I can see it does have overshooting tops. It's around 35,000 feet. It's actually not very tall. It's a low top supercell. Yeah, maybe around 40. The southern window is at 50,000 feet. It's a significant HP supercell on the southern run. And both of these are tornado warned. You have some radar glitching with this one. So it's kind of hard to tell. But, oh yeah. The supercell doesn't seem to look too wrapped up at all. Now, we do have another storm by Abbeville in southern Louisiana. Let's go down there and take a look at those. It's going to take a while to load. Abbeville, Lafayette. That area is in the slight risk, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we do have some storms about to approach Abbeville. We do have one by Iowa. That's right to the east of Lake Charles. And we can see we have, likely with that, maybe some hail up to around pea-sized. Some gusty winds. And some gusty winds and pea-sized hail coming into Abbeville in southern Louisiana there. Nothing too significant with these storms, though. Some storms coming in the Lafayette, maybe some gusty winds with those showers. They're not going to really do much damage, though. Just maybe 20, 30 mile per hour gusts. And yeah, we still have 2 tornado warnings right now. So we're getting constant scans here. Let's not take a sign. Let's go to base velocity. Definitely, this northern cell definitely doesn't have any tight rotation with it. And further to the south, definitely nothing that looks too good with this cell either. This northern cell doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot, just likely damaging winds with it. And yeah, so Alexandria is getting hit right now with probably a lot of heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail. We'll have to see. from reports, but a lot of heavy rain throughout all of Alexandria, the southern side, west, east, north. And yeah, so that's pretty much it right now. Let's go check on these storms by San Antonio. See what those are doing. Alright, yeah, so we got by Beeville, we likely have maybe some decent sized hails. This is southern cell we've been watching for a while, maybe around 1 inch. Fredericton North, not a whole lot of hail with these, maybe pea sized. Likely just damaging winds and pea sized hail, like I said before. And then, yeah, so let's go back over to our tornado warning cells. And GR2 is freezing right there, yo. It's gonna take a second, of course. These tornado warnings do expire in 4 minutes, both of them. So we're gonna have to see which ones they extend. And yeah. So let me. Don't know what happened to that. There we go. All right. So yeah, these are our 2 tornado warnings, of course. Take a look at base velocity. This cell right here doesn't look to be doing too much. Doesn't look to be doing a whole lot. Don't have any tight. You don't have any tight rotation. This southern one doesn't really look too good either. Yeah, I know. So we'll have to see what those do. I don't think they produce tornadoes as of right now, or since I've really started the stream. But what we're gonna take a look at today and tomorrow's YouTube video and take a look at reports and stuff like that. So yeah, now these tornado warnings expire in 3 minutes. Let's go back to the SPC. Let's see how many reports we have now that Wichita Falls just got hail. Sure, we have a lot more now. No, not even. Or yeah, we're not 51 hail reports. Some of these have been in Wichita County. But yeah, we've had Wichita Falls has gotten hit with some hail, so we'll have to see how many reports that's gonna bring us to. But from what I've seen, just by looking at GR or spotter reports, it kind of looks there's been a lot of hail in Wichita Falls, around maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So, yeah, now we're getting really constant scans here. Cell by Chambers Woodworth doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. But it's not. We don't have any tight circulation. I could see why. I know why it's tornado warned though. We have a cell by Dry Creek. This is the southern supercell. Doesn't look great either. But yeah, so it doesn't look like we have a whole lot going on. These cells have been really messy. Probably gonna end the stream in around 10 minutes here. Let's just see what these tornado warnings do here. And yeah, so it's gonna take a while. Okay, yeah, so these warnings expire in 1 minute. They expire at 10. So we'll have to see if they extend them. I'll have to see if they get extended. I don't know if they're gonna get extended. So let's just see. All right, yeah. So they should be expired now. Yep, they're both gone. What the some they're gonna probably one of them might get extended. It might be the northern one. I'm not sure. But right now we don't have any tornado warnings anymore. It still shows up here. That's because it hasn't updated yet. But that will update soon. Now, while we don't have any tornado warnings, let's go back up to. No, we're not going to go. Okay, so now. Okay, so until. Or we do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Now we have one for Alexandria. Central and or pretty much all of Alexandria is in it, other than the northern side. And that goes into Center Point. And yeah, so that's a pretty big severe thunderstorm warning, but it does look like we're gonna have a lot of damaging winds with this. And to further to the south, our southern supercell has a severe thunderstorm warning on it for areas like Grant, Elizabeth, Oakdale. That's all in Louisiana. So yeah, Alexandria doesn't seem to have gotten hit too hard. Alexandria does seem maybe to have some gusty winds, maybe some pea-sized hail. That's about it though. No reports really coming in from that area of a whole lot. Now let's go back up to for the Frederick area here. We're not Frederick. We're gonna use the Frederick radar, but really this Oklahoma, northern Texas. Let's go back up there and see what we have going on. So GR2 is having some problems right now. It's frozen again. There we go. All right, so 60 mile per hour thunderstorm wind gust. That was around 6 minutes ago. Okay. All right, so just let the radar load here. And yeah, Wichita Falls, a lot of hail in the south and west side of town. That storm has since moved out, and maybe some more storms coming behind it. A little smaller hail with those, though. And we might have some rotation by Scotland. It's kind of interesting. We'll have to see what that cell does. We have a decent-looking line of storms that goes up towards Moore and Norman now. Seems like the whole line might extend up towards Moore. Let's see. Yeah, the line now completely extends up to Moore, even the southern side of Oklahoma City. So likely that this damaging winds, pea-sized hail, maybe greater than pea-sized. 1.25 inch hail. This was around 30 minutes ago in Coram, Oklahoma, with this line. So yeah, that's what we have going on with that. Let's go back to our storms in central Louisiana, and these really have the most tornadic potential. So we can see we have this 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Alexandria cell still doesn't have a lot of rotation. This southern one, not a whole lot of rotation with that either. But definitely damaging winds and a lot of heavy rain. These are very HP supercells. Heavy rain's going to be a bit of a problem with these. For sure. And yeah, so probably going to end the stream here. I will likely be back tomorrow. Yes. Goodbye.